Hello and welcome back to another new edition of Windows and Current Affairs, and today we talk about, of course, renovating historical Egypt. Old Midtown Cairo, downtown Cairo, old Cairo in general is full of a lot of historical places that visitors flock to every day. And there are different seasons, and there are different histories to be able to be exhibited in those places. There are churches, there are museums, there is also mosques, you name it. And from here came the decision to renovate it and upgrade it, upgrade the services there. Today we're going to be talking about that. We're very delighted to be having with us Rana Ihab. She is a heritage researcher.
Hi.
Good evening, Rana. How are you doing?
I'm great, thank you.
Talk to us about the story of Old Cairo. Let's just explain to our viewers how beautiful is Old Cairo. What is Old Cairo?
When we talk about historical Cairo, the first thing we need to mention, this is the largest open museum in all the world. So if we're talking about the historical Cairo in general, and we need to know the limit or the borders of the historical Cairo, which is one of the most important in the World Heritage List. Actually, we have a lot of places. Sometimes, especially we are in Ramadan, so people is putting their eyes only to come to visit the historical Cairo in this time and environment of Cairo to see how it's beautiful. The story of historical Cairo in general started from long time ago in the centuries, for many times. And also, if we are talking about, for example, about Al Hussein, which is renovated, and the President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, which is opened yesterday. And this is amazing thing, because when we visit these places, it's look like an older places. So not everything, we have a lot of facilities, but not all the people feeling comfortable to visit this place before they renovated it, because it's so small. We have a lot of shops there. So renovate the place and made a place for parking, for example, for the buses, for the tourism buses, and the place inside itself, the people who are around there, the local community. All of these, when we develop it, we know how to come or attract more visitors actually to the site. We said that places is known in all the world, so the visitor visit this place because they want to visit. If we are talking about Al Hussein, Khan Al Khalili, anyone when he visits Egypt, the first thing coming on his mind when he arrived, he wants to have a souvenirs for his relative, friends, whatever. So he should bring those gifts from Khan Al Khalili. So this place take a special part in the heart of the people or the visitors or the tourists in general. If we are talking about the tourism only, but also in the Egyptian people heart. So if we are talking about Al Hussein, which is one of the relatives of the Prophet Muhammad, and actually we love everything related to the Prophet Muhammad, or from the house of the Prophet Muhammad. So this is what makes this place is special in the heart. So even in the birthday of Al Hussein, and in any time festival related to this ceremony, we will found this place is crowded, full of people, and this is not full of tourism or foreigner. They are full of Egyptian people. So
and also religious tourism.
Exactly.
A good source of them, because this particular place is somehow a source for religious tourism. It has a lot of Muslims that attract a certain type of tourists at certain types of the year.
Yes.
Exactly, just like Egypt is very popular because of a very important factor, which is the trip of the Holy Family, for example.
Yes, exactly.
So Old Cairo in that sense is very important. I want you to talk to our viewers about the important pieces of history that are located inside Old Cairo, that the government is keen on renovating it and exhibiting it and focusing it to the people who are visiting Cairo.
to talk about the historical Cairo in general, we have many places, many necropolises, citadels, streets too. And if we are talking especially about the Old Cairo, if we are talking about the Old Cairo or mention it, we are talking about the part and the monastery and the Coptic Museum, which is also related to the Mu'izz Street and this stuff. And if we are talking about the mystery of Mu'izz Street from the beginning, when you arrive to Mu'izz Street and you will find the shops of jewelry and diamonds, gold, silver. Actually, this is look like the street from thousands of years ago, because when they arrived to Cairo, the Fatimid who made the place or the area of Cairo itself, because before that reign it's named many other when Umar ibn al-As arrived and opened Egypt, and it's called the Fustat, then it's moved to Al-Qata'a and Al-Askar, then it became Cairo in the Fatimid period, in the time of Al-Mu'izz. So they started to build the walls of Cairo by Gawhar al-Saqali, and we have many important things. For example, like the gates of Cairo, the gates of Al-Qahira, as we mentioned that in Arabic. So we have many of them, only remaining 3.
And different ages also.
Different ages too.
Different dynasties and different stories.
And when we through our walking in Al-Mu'izz Street, we have from the dynasty of Muhammad Ali, we have from Al-Mamluks, we have from Al-Fatimid, we have from different periods in Egypt here. So this has not happened actually in all the time, or we cannot find like this art in any other place in the world. So we have a complexes which is amazing, and its architecture and its art, the colors, the way of making the art itself is actually amazing. So if we are talking about the complex of Sultan Qalawun itself, we have a hospital before thousands of years ago. We have a hospital in this complex, which is important to tell the people that we care about how we learn the medicine and how we make the people learn from us, and we learn them about the history. About the medicine itself. We have schools inside. We have mausoleums too, and if we through our walking, we have Al Akumar Mosque, one of the most amazing mosques in Al-Mu'izz Street, and we can connect this in the place of Old Cairo, because the facade of the Al-Akumar Mosque exactly look like the facade of the Coptic Museum. When Marcus Pasha started to build a museum for the Christian objects in general, he sees the communication between the Egyptian people and how they love each other, if they are Muslims or Christian or Jewish. In any religious, they see the communication, they see the smoothie relation between all of these kinds of people in one area. So he took the facade of the Al-Akumar Mosque to be the facade of the Coptic Museum, but he changed some stuff, like if we have a circle contains of the name of the Prophet Muhammad, he changed the name of the Prophet Muhammad to be Egyptian cross or a Greek cross. So this is amazing. This is how Egyptian people look like from thousands of years ago. And we have also one of the largest mosques in Egypt, which is Al-Hakim Mosque. And about the decoration, about the spiritual soul itself. When you enter this mosque, you feel something different. And at the end of Al-Mu'izz Street and the northern gate, we have the gate, one of the remaining 3 remaining gates in the walls of Cairo, which is Bab al-Futuh and Bab al-Nasr. And actually we have a story why it's called the Gate of Nasr, or the Gate of Victory, because when they arrived, when the Islamic army army in any places, and he back from the battle with its victory. He entered from this gate, which is also amazing. On the other side, we have the gate of Zuwayla, one of the most amazing gates in architecture and color and the meaning. Even you focus on the details on the gate itself, you will find some steps have an hieroglyphic inscription. So history built on history. This has not happened in anywhere.
Of course, and also the renovation of the Mosque of Al-Hussein is very recently very popular and very important. Why is it that important, and why was the government keen on renovating that mosque?
Because this mosque actually passed in many conservation steps, and during a long time, the architecture is kind of changing at that time. But when we said we renovate this place or restore this place, that means this place is important, and we need to attract the visitors. We need to attract a different kind of tourism at this point. So we need to take some forward step. So some people said this is not good for us, and we need to keep heritage. Actually, we keep a heritage when we renovate some places to show it for all the world. So the importance come here when you are visiting the place, and you will find you do not have a place to park your car or to enjoy with the shops there. You will kind of being annoyed. So we need to.
In other words, you need to say that there has to be facilities.
Exactly.
Even if it's one of the most popular mosques, it couldn't be easily visited or available unless the infrastructure around it is renovated. And what did that happen?
Yes, this is actually what happened in the place. It was not a change in the map, but a change in the, as you said, in the facilities of the place. So it become more nice. Even the decoration inside the mosque itself has become more clear. It's colored more than so. This is what makes this place as special. Also, around the area, if we are talking about Al-Hussein and Al-Azhar, Al-Azhar is the direction for all the people who want to learn about the right Islam. All the people can, what is make also the Egyptian sites, religious sites is different. And if you have any kind of religion, you have the facility to enter the Al-Azhar Mosque. So even it's an Islamic place, and this is a direction for all the students who want to learn about Islam in general. This is a direction for them, and it's also open for all the people who want to learn right about what we have in the religions of Islam. Also, you have the library there. You can found with many languages. You can read what you need from it. It's open for all the people, and also we have the churches in the Old Cairo, and also it's open for all the people, for all the religions, to see how the Egyptian people from the starting of being there is the different religions, how they actually love each other. If we are talking about Amr ibn al-As when he entered Egypt, who helped Amr ibn al-As to enter Egypt? Actually, the Coptic or the Christian Coptic, who they are lived there, and they tell them how to defeat the Roman and get them out from the Egyptian land. The Egyptians doing that. We have also in the
and from there came also, when he arrived, the very, very popular story to the history of Islam and Egypt at the same time, when he stood and he allowed, he stood as a backbone for Copts.
Yes,
Amr
exactly.
ibn al-As, and it was very
we have a sentence was written in the hanging church. It's called "No one," written by the hand of Amr ibn al-As. No one can hurt this or destroy this church. No one, he ordered, no one come to destroy this church or doing something. And actually, if we focusing just a little bit, we will find Amr ibn al-As built one of the from the first mosques was built in Egypt and in whole Africa behind the church, beside the church. So this is here it's tells us a strong meaning. This is the Egyptian people from long time ago, and also in Al-Azhar. Talking about Al-Azhar and the places there, we have also wikalat, which is stores for many types of clothes, and also different kinds of ointment. Very from the old things that
like herbs,
exactly
herbs and aromatherapy.
It's kind of, but what I mean. What they are doing from thousands of years ago, it is still using till this moment. This is why
which also has its own visitors,
exactly.
and it has its own type
till
of
this
tourism.
moment, people visit if they wanted to have a kind of clothes or something. They arrive to this place or go to
the
this place.
folkloric gowns.
Exactly. And the festivals that happened in Ukat al-Ghuri, for example, Tanura, and all of things that's related to the heritage of Egypt in general, which is specified that Egyptian people done, no other people in the world done the things like that have done in this time and is doing till now. And actually, from the plan of renovate the historical Cairo and make the places added more facilities for the visitors in this place. Actually, we have the workshop for the craftsmen. Some of the crafts actually start to be not known for the people, especially when we are talking about the new generation. So we need to keep this heritage. We need to save it for all the generation come after us. So they actually made a workshop. They actually made a centers for those amazing people who live there.
That's true. And of course, it is not only the history or the places that hold history significance in that place, but the business that is related to it. Because sometimes also the new trend of tourism is not only the relics or the places or the mosques or the churches, but the business also around it. Like you said, there is the business of the folkloric gowns, there is the business of the industry that is related to that church, books that are talking about that church, things that are telling about that history, some folkloric costumes that are related to that particular age, the aromatherapy, the type of herbs that this particular place is very famous by. Many things.
Yes,
How important is that associated?
Actually,
as we see, I'm sorry to interfere, but when we go to Tivoli, for example, when we go to Italy, for example, and we go to visit a place where there is the biggest churches in Europe, you can find a complete market around it that is related to that church.
Yes, and what make the Mu'izz Street and the Hussein is special because actually the shops there from the time of the beginning of the street. So the shop itself is a heritage of the heritage of the place.
That's true.
And when we are thinking, when the people want to visit Mu'izz Street, they are sitting in the coffee, which is called in Arabic al-Ahwa al-Baladi. They are sitting the national thing. They want to try the lifestyle of Egyptian people in that time. And actually, you can feel the walls of the history can tell you how the people live at this time. You can feel it in your heart when you're hearing the stories of the people, when you are hearing the people who is singing at that time. They actually doing this for fun, not to pay or something, to tell you how the amazing of the place. Also, taking back about the architecture of the place itself. When all the people come to Egypt and other dynasties, other people come to Egypt, they want actually to mix the style of, for example, the new style of Europe with the Islamic architecture, because it's actually special in everything related to this place.
That is true. Tell us about other, because this particular part of Cairo, of Old Cairo, is full of stories. It's full of history. Not only churches, not only mosques, not only Muslims. For example, Muslims. There are very, very popular tombs and popular stories and religious characters that are buried there.
Yes. For example, the dome of Imam Shafi'i, one of the renovated places also, and it's amazing to have a look down there and the inscription and the golden stuff inside, and the heart of the people, how they want to be near to the people they are actually loved. And even in the complex of the complexes in Al Mu'izz Street also, we have many mausoleums, and from the other part we are also want to talking about the citadel of Salahuddin, for example. The citadel of Salahuddin, we have many mosques inside, we have many museums. And also, if we are talking about the mosque of Ahmad ibn Tulun, one of the largest mosques here also in Egypt, which is actually amazing in its architecture. And if we are talking about the architecture, the mixed architecture, as we mentioned, we will find the minaret of the mosque look like the mosque of Samarra in Iraq. It's to take the same architecture, which is amazing, and actually you can go upstairs on this minaret and see how the amazing of Cairo from a highway. Actually, you can also take a tour in the gate of Zuwayla, as we mentioned before. The gate of Zuwayla also have actually a kind of a small museum. We have during the excavation in these places, we have a kind of pottery that's related to this time and also related to the Greek time. So we will have a look there. And if you are on the top of the minaret of Zuwayla, actually it's called the minaret of Zuwayla, but actually it's the minaret of Al-Mu'ayyid Sheikh, of Al-Mu'ayyid Sheikh Mosque. And if we go upstairs there, you can see the overlook in Cairo. You can see the Azhar Park, you can see Mu'izz Street, you can see the most famous architecture, Islamic things that located in the area of Al Mu'izz Street and Zuwayla and Al Azhar and those places. And you can enjoy with many things there. So that's why the people who lived always said we need to share all of the meaning of these places with the local community. And actually that is what the country doing now. They share or they renovate the places for the workers there, for the people who lived there, with the paintings or with doing a kind of renovated for their houses or this stuff. And this is actually what we are doing in our plan, which is important and amazing that we didn't done before.
That we haven't been doing before. We're going to go to a short break and we'll come to continue this very interesting talk with Rana Ihab, the heritage researcher. So stay with us. As we earlier said, we're talking about renovating historical Cairo. And this is the name of the project. It is Old Cairo as we always love to see it. Of course, it's becoming busy day after day because of the too many visitors, because of the market there, and because of too many reasons. And that's why came the decision, according to the directives of President Abdel Fattah Sisi, to be able to renovate that particular dear part of Old Cairo, and also at the same time upgrade it and upgrade the facilities, upgrade the services, all that. We have with us here in the studio Rana Ihab, and she is a heritage researcher, and she was giving us her input about the importance of the place on the first place, and at the same time renovating it right now is a very important step. Why? Because Egypt is undergoing a complete makeover, as we all know. And according to the new republic, nothing could be erected or become new without roots. We cannot build ourselves or renovate ourselves without caring about our roots. Our roots is historical Cairo and Old Cairo. And as you said, there are lots of important places that you earlier kindly mentioned. But at the same time, facilities has to be renovated and upgraded. How important is renovating those facilities? Like, we know that each part of Old Cairo has its own specific type of tourists. And this is something important also you have to elaborate, because most of us would think that tourists would flock in all over the year, which is not true. There are different seasons for different tourists.
Yes, exactly.
So if you like to touch on that particular end.
Actually, most of the foreigner people or European people, American people, come in Egypt during the time of winter. Because the weather is amazing for them, and they are focusing on visiting places, especially in the Upper Egypt, Luxor and Aswan and Delminia, the places that have the ancient Egyptian heritage or history roots. And if we are focusing on their map, or if they want to visit the cultural places or the cultural sites, they bought on their plan Cairo. So in Cairo, they have to visit the Egyptian Museum, the pyramid in Giza, and also Mu'izz Street, which is our the headline talk about, and Cairo, and the Mu'izz Street. So if they are visiting those places during the day, even some tourists, they didn't like to visit the places of Al Hussein and Al Mu'izz in the morning. They can visit also in the night. Actually, the different thing that most of the archaeological sites will not be open, but actually we can enjoy by seeing the architecture and all of this stuff by walking in the streets itself. And talking about the facilities, the Ministry of Antiquities and Tourism actually doing during the Corona pandemic, they doing or creating something amazing like the virtual tours. So if you did not have the time to visit the place on ground, you have the option to visit it and the virtual tours, and all of these places, most of the places in historical Cairo, it's open for free. All of the virtual tours sites, it's open for free for all the people. They can visit the place itself. So they are focusing, when we look at the people who's walking on the street or any place in Cairo, when we're focusing on their faces, we will find they coming from all the world. To see the legacy and the history, to know about the heritage of the people they are lived in this time, in this place. And if they are visiting the pyramids on the morning, they also visited the mosque of Sultan Hassan, which is considered as the fourth pyramid of Egypt, as researchers mentioned or called it. So and it's open for all the people, as we mentioned before. So the amazing of the history of the kind of visitors or the facilities we are doing for them, I think Egypt become take more forward steps in taking or doing the facilities even for the special needs. And this is also very, very important in the museum. And there also a mission to doing all of these facilities for special needs on all the archaeological sites in Egypt in general. So this is all of these, the country doing a great effort to create or to renew everything related to the tourism and the antiquities in this step, because everything we dream on a vision, and we to achieve this vision, on its time by taking its mission.
Right. We talked about the facilities. Let's talk about the types of tourists, and we only have like 2 minutes or 3 minutes. So types of tourists that would come, because this is a busy place with tourism, and different types of tourists are flocking throughout the whole seasons. What type of tourists are targeting that place?
Actually, the type of tourists that are targeting the place of the culture, the people who want to know more about the history, and many types of people around the world want this place. And if we are talking about the type of tourism in Egypt in general, we have all types of tourism in the world, I think. We have the blue tourism, which is related to the seas and the river, and we have also the yellow tourism, which is related to the desert and this stuff. And different kinds of people love to be on the Red Sea, on the Hurghada and Sharm el-Sheikh, and different type of tourism love to be in to visit the cultural tourism. But we have some problem in the cultural tourism, because not all the people love to be in the cultural tourism. If you don't like the cultural tourism, we actually have another type of tourism you can enjoy too. So this is what also makes Egypt on the top destination for 2021 and for 2022 too. So everything you need in the tourism in all the world, we have a part from it in Egypt. So attract the tourism from Europe, from America, from even from the Arabian Gulf also. We have the special visitors, especially in the Ramadan nights, if we are talking about how the weather, the feeling itself. All the Arabian Gulf love to stay here in the time of Ramadan to visit Al Hussein and Khan al-Khalili and all the Islamic places in Cairo. And as we mentioned in the beginning of the episode, that the historical Cairo, especially Al Mu'izz Street, considered as the biggest open museum in all the world.
Yeah, yes, on that very beautiful note, would like to, unfortunately, we have to end it over here because we ran out of time. Rana, Ihab, you are a history researcher of history. We'd like to thank you so much.
Thank you.
And wish you all the best.
Thank you so
much. I guess this would bring us to the end of this edition of Windows and Current Affairs. Many thanks to all of you, and until we see you again next week, that's a goodbye.